who stands at the foot of the Acropolis, gazing upon a structure that has withstood the test of time. The Odeon of Herodes Atticus, a theater born of love and tragedy, has echoed with the voices of ancient poets and modern performers alike. Today we step into its hallowed stones to uncover a tale where past and present intertwine. A narrow path leads up the sacred rock of the Acropolis, but before reaching the grandeur of the Parthenon, a different marvel awaits. Sunlight cascades upon the tiered stone seating of the Odeon, illuminating its grand facade. The ghosts of 1,000 performances seem to whisper from its weathered stones. Built in 161 CE, this masterpiece was not merely a gift to Athens but a monument to Herodes Atticus' beloved wife Regilla. With its magnificent cedarwood roof and pristine marble seating, it stood as one of the finest theaters of the Roman world. Yet time would prove unkind to this architectural wonder. Close your eyes and the past comes alive. The applause of a Roman audience, the stirring cadence of an orator's voice, the rhythmic beat of a tragedian's chorus. Can you hear it? The acoustics, even now, seem to carry the ghosts of performances long since past. At its peak, the Odeon could seat nearly 5,000 spectators. Lavish performances unfolded beneath the grand wooden roof, which, at the time, was considered an architectural marvel. Senators and citizens alike gathered in awe, awaiting the spectacle of art and storytelling. Then the Heruli came. A Germanic tribe, their invasion in 267 CE marked the end of many grand Roman structures in Athens. The Odeon, once filled with music, was reduced to a ruin of shattered stone and silent echoes. For centuries it lay dormant, a skeletal reminder of its former splendor. Weeds crept between its fallen columns and the city moved on. The once thriving stage where actors and philosophers stood became a relic of the past. Time, however, does not always erase, it waits. The 19th and 20th centuries saw archaeologists and historians take an interest in the forgotten Odeon. By the 1950s, Athens had made its decision. This theater would rise again. Under the diligent hands of restoration experts, the theater found new life. Stone by stone, seat by seat, the Odeon was prepared for performances once more. The ghosts of the past would soon be joined by the voices of the present. In 1955, the Odeon reopened as the crown jewel of the Athens and Epidaurus festival. Once again, its seats filled with eager audiences waiting for the stage lights to shine. The air buzzed with anticipation as performers prepared to bring the theater back to its true purpose. What better way to honor an ancient theater than by reviving the very works it once hosted? Sophocles, Aeschylus, and Euripides returned to the stage, their tragedies echoing off the marble walls. The ancient world and modern Greece stood together, bound by art. There is magic in watching a performance under the open sky. Parthenon looms above, illuminated against the night, as actors command the stage. Cool Athenian breeze carries the melody of an ancient story reborn. No longer limited to classical Greek theater, the Odeon has become a world stage. Opera, ballet, contemporary theater, and even legendary musicians have graced its stone platform. From Maria Callas to Sting, history meets modernity beneath its towering arches. One can't help but wonder, does the spirit of Herodes Atticus still linger here? His devotion to art, his love for Regilla, his desire to leave a lasting legacy, all of it is etched into this place. In a way, his love story never truly ended. For centuries, the Odeon stood in silent ruin, a ghost of its former self. The marble seats, once graced by Roman elites, lay fractured under the weight of time. Nature reclaimed the stage, vines creeping through cracks, as if the earth itself wished to preserve this monument of artistic grandeur. The whispers of the past faded into the winds of history, until Athens decided the Odeon must rise again. In the late 19th century, the first careful hands began the arduous process of bringing the theater back to life. Stone by stone, the echoes of lost performances stirred once more. Yet true revival takes time, and the Odeon's full restoration would not come for decades. The 1950s marked its rebirth, a moment when history and modernity clasped hands. Once a place of imperial grandeur, it now awaited new voices, new stories, and a new audience under the Athenian sky. Masons and craftsmen worked tirelessly, shaping each block with the precision of their ancestors. They honored the ancient design, ensuring the acoustics would remain impeccable, just as Herodes Atticus had intended. The Odeon was not just being rebuilt, it was being reborn. Finally, in 1955, the moment arrived. The Athens and Epidaurus Festival chose the Odeon as its grand venue, marking its return to the world stage. The ruins that had once whispered only to the wind now vibrated with the voices of actors, the melodies of orchestras, and the applause of a modern audience. As the first performance unfolded, it was as if time itself had stepped aside to watch. Beneath the same moon that had once illuminated Roman senators, a new era of art and culture began. The Odeon was no longer a relic, it was alive again. The ancient stories found new breath in the restored theater. Tragedies once penned by Sophocles and Euripides returned home, their words rippling through the stone like a long-lost song rediscovered. The audience sat spellbound, as if transported back 2 millennia. In the years that followed, the Odeon welcomed the world's greatest performers. Luciano Pavarotti's voice soared through the night air, Maria Callas brought opera to life upon its stage, and legendary musicians from across the globe stood where Roman performers once stood. The past and present no longer existed separately, they danced together in perfect harmony. Yet, no matter how many renowned artists graced its stage, the Odeon remained untouched by time. Unlike modern concert halls with their artificial sound systems, this venue needed no technology to amplify its magic. Every note, every syllable was carried naturally, as if the theater itself was singing. Beneath the towering Acropolis, under the eternal gaze of the Parthenon, every performance became something more than just a show. It was a ritual, a tribute to centuries of art, passion, and storytelling. Each artist who performed here knew they were stepping into something greater than themselves. The audience's response was never just appreciation, it was reverence. The applause didn't merely echo, it reverberated through history. The very walls of the Odeon seemed to embrace it, holding on to each moment as if adding to an invisible archive of memories. For those lucky enough to sit in its stone-carved seats, the experience was more than just an evening of entertainment. It was a journey, a passage through time where the spirits of ancient and modern artists stood side by side. The Odeon was not just a venue, it was a living legend. As night fell, the theater took on a glow unlike any other. The stage, illuminated by golden light, looked as though it had been touched by the gods themselves. The Acropolis above cast its silent blessing, as if watching over one of its most cherished creations. A visitor sitting in the upper tiers might close their eyes and swear they could hear the footsteps of Roman spectators, the murmurs of ancient Athenians awaiting the start of a performance. The Odeon had transcended time. It had become eternal. And with every passing performance, every artist who steps upon its stage, the Odeon continues its sacred duty. It is a bridge spanning centuries where the voices of the past and present converge in a single, breathtaking harmony. Here, in the heart of Athens, art is not bound by time, it is infinite. As the golden hues of twilight descend upon Athens, the Odeon of Herodes Atticus awakens under the embrace of the setting sun. Marble steps gleam, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps, poets, performers, and dreamers alike. The air carries the murmur of anticipation, the same electric pulse that has stirred audiences for nearly 2 millennia. Tonight, the stage is set for a grand performance, echoing the ancient past while embracing the present. The orchestra tunes their instruments, a symphony of sounds reverberating through the stone amphitheater. A hush falls over the audience, a shared breath of reverence in this living monument of artistry. From the first note, the magic of the Odeon unfolds. Music swirls through the night air, dancing against the limestone walls, as if the spirits of ancient performers still linger. The acoustics, a masterpiece of Roman engineering, capture every sound, amplifying it with astonishing clarity. History is alive here, unseen yet ever present. the ghosts of ancient tragedies seem to linger in the shadows, whispering their stories into the ears of modern listeners. The stones, though silent, have heard the voices of emperors, philosophers, and playwrights, a chorus of time echoing through the ages. And yet, this is not a relic frozen in time. This is a stage reborn, an eternal sanctuary for culture where past and present exist as one. Tonight, the Odeon is neither ancient nor modern, it is timeless. Performance reaches its peak, an overwhelming crescendo that sends shivers through the audience. A pause, a heartbeat of silence, before the first clap breaks through, followed by another, and then an eruption of applause. The same stone that once bore the footsteps of Roman elites now vibrates under the adoration of a modern crowd. As the performers take their bows, the Odeon itself seems to bow with them, its very existence a testament to the endurance of human expression. For centuries it lay in ruins, waiting, longing for its voice to be heard once more. And now it sings again, stronger than ever. A single thought lingers in the mind of every visitor. This is more than just a theater. This is a bridge, a pathway connecting the dreams of the ancients with the aspirations of today. Every performance, every note, every word spoken here is a tribute to those who came before and those who will follow. The final echoes of music fade into the warm Athenian night, but the feeling lingers, a whisper of eternity. The Odeon of Herodes Atticus is more than stone and history. It is a sanctuary where art defies time itself. In its embrace, the past is never lost, and the future always has a stage. As the last visitors depart, they glance back at the amphitheater, its arches bathed in silver moonlight. Here, in the heart of Athens, history is not just remembered, it is lived. The Odeon stands, unwavering, a testament to the eternal power of performance, forever welcoming the next act in the grand story of humanity.